Jennifer Lawrence is back on the big screen in her new movie, No Hard Feelings. And yes, it is true that in this movie she does appear fully nude, full frontal, naked. So did this film leave me with some hard feelings, or did I find it to be somewhat flaccid? Let's find out. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to my review for the new Jennifer Lawrence movie, No Hard Feelings. This film is rated 15 and comes at us with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes, and it's directed by Gene Stupnitsky. Now, Gene Stupnitsky has worked as a producer on things like The Office TV series for about 66 episodes, Bad Teacher, the movie, and the TV series, the Stephen Merchant program, Hello Ladies, and he has done a small amount of directing, but nothing substantial. This is his first major feature film. The film was written by Gene Stupnitsky with John Phillips. And the film, like I said, it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Andrew Barth Feldman. Now, this film here, we're introduced to Jennifer Lawrence's character. She's a 30-something female who's about to lose her home because where she lives, it's been overrun by rich folk. So the house taxes and all this sort of thing have gone up, and she can't keep up with these payments. She loses her car, and she needs a car to carry on with her Uber driving to make said payments, and she just can't do it. And she comes across an ad, a Craigslist ad in the paper, where a couple of helicopter parents, they want their 19-year-old son to experience a bit of life before he goes off to college. In other words, they want him to know about the birds and bees in whichever way they can get him to do this. So they put an ad out for a woman to come, or a woman in her early 20s, to come and help him out, essentially. Hopefully have sex with him. You know what I'm saying? So Jennifer Lawrence takes up this role because there's a car on offer if she takes the role, and thusly that's the setup for this film. So she goes into this kind of relationship with the idea of basically whoring herself out more than anything else. She's prepared to sleep with him, only the young lad isn't prepared to go through with this. He wants to get to know her first. He's somewhat introverted and socially awkward, and thusly the film plays on from there. Now, the film, like I said, it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Andrew Barth Feldman. It's backed up with actors like Laura Benantin and Matthew Broderick, who, to be honest, at first, I totally did not recognise. He's completely changed in the way he looks. He's a lot fatter. He's put on a lot of weight. And yeah, I had to check whether it was actually Matthew Broderick or not. Later on in the film, I could see it. Now, Jennifer Lawrence, it's nice to see her in a rom-com of this sort. This is the sort of film that wants to be something from the early 2000s. It's kind of wants to hark back to the likes of American Pie, The Girl Next Door, that sort of a thing. Unfortunately, those sort of films are done and over with now. I don't think there's a place in society for them sort of films. I think they'll be highly criticised. So this film kind of edges more into the nice rom-com kind of an area where these two characters she's doing her utmost to excite this boy to get him to sleep with her because she wants this car, only he's more aloof with it. He wants to get to know her. He actually believes that she actually does like him, and the film is somewhat predictable. You know where this film's going to go. There's nothing fresh in the idea of the story, in the idea of the narrative within the film. It does its ABCs as you would expect it to, and anyone who's seen a wealth of this sort of a film, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly that, without spoilers, I suppose, you know exactly that, she's going to try her damnedest, he's going to refuse. You know that he's going to find out the truth. There's going to be a splitting of the ways between the two of them, but yet they're going to come back together at the end. And that is the case with the film. Not that they come back together in a sort of romantic relationship, but they come back as friends. And the story's got a nice narrative in that these two characters in a certain place with one another, and they help one another out to get beyond where they are, to grow as individuals where they need to grow to progress with their own lives, even in a separate, going separate ways, although remaining friends, if you see what I'm saying. So the film's got a nice message, a nice story. Yes, Jennifer Lawrence does go full frontal nude within this film, but it's not in a sexual manner whatsoever, any way, shape or form. It's essentially in a sort of action fight scene almost. I won't spoil it for you, but there's nothing sexualized about that scene whatsoever, which is probably why she done it. And the film is very empowering. It makes her more of the more powerful individual within the film. Okay, she's somewhat 10 years older than him, 10, 11 years older than him in the narrative, but he's the one who's more, like I said, introverted in this at the beginning of the film. But he's got a nice character growth throughout the story. It was a decent film. It was a good film, you know. It was well directed. It was well acted. Jennifer Lawrence was, she commanded the screen in this film. She was fantastic in every scene she was in. I can't fault her performance whatsoever. The young lad, Andrew Barth Feldman as Percy Becker, again, very strong in the role that he gave, in the performance that he gave. The film just, like I said, is trying to be a film of old that we just can't sort of have anymore. Those sort of films are gone. But even though it is somewhat predictable in its ABC kind of storytelling, it's a decent ride. It's you know, it's enjoyable enough. It keeps you watching, and there's a nice, like I said, there's a nice message, a nice ending, and altogether a decent movie. I can't really fault it. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, and it's not the greatest film I've ever seen, but it was okay. It was all right. So that's my thoughts on this movie. So my question to you: have you seen this film? If you have, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Didn't you enjoy it? If you did, if you didn't, whatever it may be, let me know down in the comments down below. Yeah, let's talk movies, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.